We've got an exclusive interview for you with a woman prosecutors say was the mastermind of Minnesota's biggest COVID-era fraud scheme. Her name is Amy Bach. She's 44 years old, and she is not part of the Somali community. Last year, she was convicted of orchestrating a $250 million plot to defraud government program to feed hungry kids. She spoke to CBS News Minnesota correspondent Jonah Kaplan, who joins us now. Jonah, good morning. We all want to hear what she has to say. Good morning to you.
Gail, good morning. As you mentioned, there's been so much focus on the Somali community here in Minnesota because of the widespread fraud. And most of the suspects charged and convicted in the schemes, they are from the Somali community. But as you mentioned, the mastermind, according to prosecutors, federal prosecutors, she is not Somali. And Amy Bach, when we spoke to her, it's rare for someone to speak with us in federal custody, but she expressed some regrets and defended her actions.
We were allowed 1 hour to speak with Amy Bach over a video call from her Minnesota jail cell.
Now I can hear you, yes.
Until she was arrested in 2022, Bach led Feeding Our Future. The now infamous nonprofit signed up restaurants and caterers, many from Minnesota's large Somali community, to receive taxpayer money for providing meals to children in need.
During COVID, for obvious reasons, parents were allowed to come and pick up meals. So we suddenly were able to reach more children.
But prosecutors said it turned into something else, the nation's largest COVID-era fraud, with Bach as its mastermind.
Are you the mastermind of this scheme?
Absolutely not.
This is Amy Bach. She was the creator or the mastermind of the Feeding Our Futures. When you watching this episode of CBS Mornings, you see how they keep saying she's non-Somalian. If you really sit here and think that this person is the mastermind of Feeding Our Futures, you are stupid. You think this person right here that's in federal prison that got caught is the mastermind? $250 million and this woman right here, you really think that she is the mastermind? See, this is why you got to look at the media and understand that people are trying to portray the Somalis as people that are not scammers when they really are. Oh, they're not smart enough. They learned this from her and then they took it over from there. No, the scam started with the Somalis and it will end with the Somalis. They just found a fall guy. They found somebody possibly, in my opinion, that they were able to pay to take that time and take that pressure and take that media attention away from the Somalis. We are not stupid. CBS, you got to do better. This is not the mastermind. The mastermind is somewhere in Minnesota that's Somali that created this whole thing and is continually being a part of the fraud and stuff that's happening in Minnesota. Got to pay attention to the media, man. If you really sit here and think that this woman right here is the fraud, is the kingpin, is the mastermind, you're out of your mind. I'll put it like this. The people that are really the masterminds, they're not going to get caught. They're already in Somalia. They waiting for all of this to blow over until they come back. Why do you think she said, it's not me? She pled non-guilty. If you're guilty of a crime and you know that you're going to lose, wouldn't you plead guilty and get a plea deal? Why would you go through trial? Why would you go through all of this? Am I saying that she's like not responsible or she didn't receive anything off of this? Of course she gained something from this. But the reason why she was on the team is because she's white. And they were like, if anything goes down, we're going to say she's the mastermind. We're going to say we don't know what happened. She was the fall guy. She was not the mastermind. And then the more and more we'll watch this, we'll see what the media is trying to do, especially the left media, CBS. We know it's not with the common sense. We see what CBS is doing. We're seeing they keep saying the non-Somalian, the mastermind. Masterminds don't get caught like that. Masterminds don't get caught like that. They're smart enough to know how to move. And the people that are the true masterminds, the people that truly benefited, the people that got all the money, they're in Somalia right now chilling. They're waiting for all this to blow over. And it's just crazy how they're trying to paint her as the mastermind. I look at her, I see follower. I don't see mastermind. I see do what we tell you so you can get a little bit of money. I see somebody that probably came up out the ghetto or came out of the trailer parks. She saw opportunity to make money. She was able to be part of something, but then she didn't know that she was going to be the fall guy. They had her on a team to be the fall guy just in case something happens, and that's the reason why she's in jail, and most of these people that were part of that are not in jail.
I believe in accountability. If I had done this, I would have pled guilty. I wouldn't have gone to trial. I wouldn't have put my children and my family through what we've been through. I've lost everything.
While Bach's attorney provided this video showing stacks of food, Prosecutors say Bach and the businesses she recruited stole tens of millions of federal dollars, spending it on luxury cars, real estate ventures, and vacations.
I wish I could go back and do things differently, stop things, catch things. At that point in time, I believed we were doing everything in our power to protect the program.
But in 2021, Bach sued the state agency that oversaw the meal program, alleging its scrutiny of Somali applicants was, quote, discriminatory.
How do you think state officials took that?
Nobody wants to be labeled as being racist.
Minnesota officials told a state watchdog the threat of legal consequences and negative media attention intimidated them into easing off.
The notion that a state government is paralyzed and has to allow this level of fraud because they were afraid of what I might do in a lawsuit is preposterous.
Humbly welcome Amy Bach.
In Minnesota's large Somali community, one leader called her a modern-day Robin Hood.
Yeah, she wasn't the mastermind. She was the person in the front. She was the person that they're going to put out there, make her look like the white Jesus, make her look like the white Muhammad, make her look like she's saving everybody. We're going to put her, she was the mascot. Yes, did she benefit? For sure. For sure she got some money. For sure she got the Benzes and the Rolls Royces, the nice house. For sure they're going to make sure she's straight. For sure. Oh, what we going to do is you going to do the lawsuit. So when you do the lawsuit, they'll back up because you can say it's racism and you're white. She was the mascot. What we see from this was she was the mascot. And you know what? She probably enjoyed it. She knew what she was upon. She knew who she was working with. She knew to play. She just was happened to be a part of it. And she was part of this fraud. But do I think she was the mastermind? Absolutely not. There's somebody up. There's a bigger player a part of this. And he's not white. This person is in Somalia right now. I can't even believe and sit here and look at this and say, oh, yeah, she was the mastermind. She was, yeah. The masterminds don't get caught so easily. The masterminds don't get locked down so easy. No. I'm not falling for this.
Community deserves this. The children need this.
In 2019, the nonprofit submitted $3 million worth of meal claims. 2 years later, it submitted nearly $200 million.
All of a sudden, you're cutting $200 million worth of checks. How do you not see that as major red flags and keep this going?
We relied on the state. We told the state, this site is going to operate at this address, this day, this time, and this number of children. The state would then tell us that's approved.
Prosecutors also accused Bach of collecting bribes and kickbacks from meal site operators. At trial, they revealed text messages where she compared feeding our future to the mob.
Are you a mob boss?
Absolutely not. No.
Were you personally benefiting from any of it?
I collected my salary, and that was all that was collected.
Didn't federal agents find gold jewelry, cash in your closet?
They found minimal jewelry. I believe it was like 2 pair of earrings, a bracelet, a watch. There was some cash there.
At trial, Bach took the stand, but the jury didn't buy her story. Within hours, they convicted her on all counts. Last month, a judge ordered her to forfeit more than $5 million in proceeds from the fraud.
She definitely benefited from this, but she wasn't a mastermind. I don't believe it. I believe that she was a pawn. She was a mascot. They put her in the forefront because if this was a Somali, if it was coming from them, it would have been looking like, but she was put up front to look like the savior. To go from 3.9 million to 200 million. And the people in the state were like, that's cool. They were all in on it. They were all in on it. Everybody was getting paid on that, but they had to have a fall guy for just in case, and it was her. She wasn't living like somebody that was really making a whole lot of money. If you put it, look, a Rolls Royce, okay, cool, but she wasn't like she had 10 of them things. It wasn't like they found, 2-3 million in her house. And like they found 25 Rolexes. The real people that made the money are in Somalia. The real masterminds, the real people that put her in play. And probably those same people had a conversation with her and said, look, go to trial, whatever, go there, we'll take care of you. And maybe now she's speaking out about it. It's because now she's on her own and they're not taking care of her. Maybe they did her dirty. Maybe this is why she speaks out. But I would never sit here and look at her and say she was the mastermind. She ain't got it in her.
Minnesota officials have defended their actions, noting that it was state employees who actually first contacted the FBI about implications in the fraud scheme. So far, 78 defendants connected to Feeding Our Future. Remember, just Feeding Our Future. There are other social service schemes at play. They have been charged, more than 60 pleading guilty or convicted at trial. Bach herself is awaiting sentencing, and she faces decades in prison. Vlad?
All right, Jonah.
Well, I think if I'm Amy Bach, I'm telling. I'm snitching on everybody. Everybody gonna get it. Frank Lucas on everybody. I think the only thing that you can do if you Amy Bach and you feel like you're getting swindled and you feel like you're getting the short end of the stick, you gotta start snitching. You know who the players are. You know everybody involved. You know. There's a lot more that she's not telling. But I think she's waiting to see if somebody gonna save her. This is a federal investigation, but I still don't think that she was the mastermind. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's always gonna keep this thing rock, keep it going. Go get her. Patreon coming very soon. No Filter Morning Show coming very soon. I appreciate you guys' support. Just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. I'm out.